Hi everyone, Yan here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. Today I decided I wanted to do another how to resin video. I already made one previously, but I decided I wanted to give it another go, show you how I prepare and resin a piece. So the piece that I'm gonna do is this one. It is my last piece, my rainbow swipe. There's a glare from the sun here, so you can't really see, I think. There's a lot of shine to it, and the resin should actually make the colors pop out more and the gold step a little to the back, which is great. I've made another piece that looks similar to this one, and it came out really pretty with the resin on it. So that's the piece that I'm gonna do. I'll show you, like I said, how I prepare the piece, and then I'll put resin on it and show you how that I remove the tape and everything afterwards, because I've seen a lot of questions about that from people. So let's give it a go. I'll take you down on my table and get started, okay? So first I wanted to show you, this is the cup that I pour the mix the resin in. It has measurements on the sides, milliliters, different options: 5:1, 7:1, 10:1, 1:1. So it really depends on what it is that you put in here. There are two resin brands that I have. One is a 1:1 mixture, and the other one is a 2:1 mixture. So this one is really comes in handy. This broke, so yeah, you can just simply pull it off. Oops. Pull it out of the cup, and then the cup is clean. There's a little on the sides here that I'll just clean off. I won't do that on camera, but yeah, you get the idea. That way you can reuse the cup and for your next resin pour. So the way that I prepare the canvas is I just take a cloth with some water with just a tiny bit of dishwater detergent, and then do check whether it actually rubs off or removes some of the paint. It could remove like a tiny bit, but it shouldn't like wash it, wash the color off. So do check on the sides or something whether it removes any color, and then you just gently wash it. This is a way to get rid of any fingerprints or anything. I don't use resin, I don't use silicone in my pours, so I don't have a problem with silicone or resin not sticking to the silicone. So for me, it's just a question of removing any greasy fingerprints. So that's how I clean it, with a little bit of dishwasher detergent, and then I just clean it off after with a clean cloth, and that's it. Then we are ready to start preparing for the resin. I'll put tape on the sides to create a little wall that the resin can rest against, so that I don't let it run over the sides until the end, just before it's hardened. So after close to an hour, and then yeah, but I'll show you how I do that. I'll be right back. So as I said, I take the sides to avoid the resin running over the sides until the very end, after it's almost hardened up. That works for me. Other people actually just cover the sides and let it drip off, but I find that I lose too much resin and waste too much resin by doing that. So that's not the way that I do it. So also, I have run out of my wider paint tape, I think it's called. I don't know what you call it. So I'll have to do like a double layer. So what I do is I just put it on the canvas like this, give it an edge so that there's a wall for the resin to rest on. I go all the way around like that. I tear off the tape and I fold it, then it's easier to get hold of when you need to pull it off again. And then, yeah, normally I would have a roll of tape that is actually wide enough to just cover the sides, but as I said, today I don't, because I ran out. And this is a 3D or gallery wrapped canvas, so it is wider than my normal canvases. So, and I do the same, tear off the tape, fold it, and then one very important thing, make sure that you scrape the sides like this. Make sure that the tape is really sticking to the sides. I have learned, unfortunately, the hard way, that if you don't do this, the resin may or will actually start seeping down and loosen the tape on the side, and then you will just still have the resin just running off the surface, which is what I'm trying to avoid. I want to keep most of the resin on my piece and only have the sides covered with a thin layer. So this should work, hopefully. There we go. I also want to show you, I also taped the back when I made the painting. I followed Sarah from, God, what's it called? Colorful Art Creations by Sarah. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll also put it up on the screen. Sorry, Sarah, I don't remember right now. But yes, she puts 2 layers of tape on the back, and that, according to her experience, that means that it's easier to pull off the tape after, when you have the drips of the resin. That will make it a little bit tougher, but I'll show you how I do it after. But yeah, I taped the back when I made the painting, and I'm leaving that on in order to facilitate the removal after, once the resin is actually on. So then, yeah, it is ready. I'll just have to mix the resin, and then we'll get to resining. I'll be right back. So I'm ready to mix the resin. Today I'll be using art resin. That one gets mixed 1:1. For this size canvas, 50 by 40 centimeters, you need 320 milliliters, so 160 of each. I will be wearing a mask, so I won't be talking while I do this. I will be doing a narrating, a voiceover when I edit the video, so I will be explaining what I'm doing, but I won't be talking now while I'm filming because I'm wearing a mask while I'm doing it. You should always wear a mask. Also, when you do start handling it, wear gloves. I'm not wearing gloves while I'm mixing because I won't be touching it, but once I start handling it afterwards, after I've poured it, I am also wearing gloves. But yeah, I'll get to the mixing, and yeah, I'll get to the mixing, basically, but I'll be quiet. So as I said, you need 160 milliliters from each of these art resin bottles. So I'm just pouring in 160 milliliters of the first one, and then 160 milliliters of the second. I will be speeding up this whole video, this whole part of the video, because it's a little bit boring to be staring at me stirring for 3 minutes, for instance. But in the meanwhile, I would really love it if you haven't already, if you would subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you can see whenever I release a new video. Also, please leave a comment if you will. And last but not least, give me a thumbs up. Thank you. So as you see here, the resin has been mixed. It's full of air bubbles, which art resin does a lot. You will need the heat gun. I will show you in a little bit that I do that as well. So I just pour it out over the painting, leave a little in the cup that I can use to cover the sides with, and then I spread it out with this spreader that I got from, I think it was art resin, or it might have been, no, it was art resin. So push it out to the sides so that it's resting up against the tape that I put on as a wall. Do that all over. Spread it out well. Make sure that it hits the tape everywhere. Art resin is much thicker than the other resin that I work with. The other resin I work with actually flows very easily, so you can actually just kind of tilt it on the canvases. But yeah, art resin is much thicker, which I think is also why it generates so many air bubbles, but who knows. The other resin I use do not. But yeah, you can just remove it with the heat gun, which is what I'm doing now. I'll just run over with the heat gun, and that's it. So I just took the camera down to show you. Right now it's just curing, I guess. I mean, it's only been sitting for 15 minutes. It has to sit for at least an hour before it's actually hard or semi. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like. It looks awesome. You need to, with the art resin, it generates a lot of air bubbles when you mix it, and so you need to make sure that you actually get rid of all the air bubbles. What I do is I go back every 15 minutes and give it another go with the heat gun, just to make sure. I don't see any bubbles now, but just in case, I will be running it over again every 15 minutes. I'm not going to show you that, doesn't make any sense, but this is what it looks like with the resin on it 15 minutes after it was poured. And now I'm just peeling off the tape so that the sides can be covered as well. It will start, the resin will start dripping down or running down the sides, but I also use the leftover that I have in the cup. I use that to cover the sides as well. Make sure that you cover the sides fully. And after that, I will just put a piece of cardboard, is what I use, as protection above the canvas so that I don't get any hair or dust in there. And yeah, next I'll be showing you the result the day after. So this is my resin rainbow swipe, bloom swipe. I wanted to show you how I clean it, remove the tape after. So this is the result, and this is the back. You can probably see there are some drips, not a lot, because I used the art resin, which is thicker, and that means that it didn't run as much on the sides as my other resin does. So let me just put down a towel. I just put a towel to protect the resin from any kind of scratches or anything while I'm doing this. So like I said, I think in my introduction, I put 2 layers of tape on here, and now I'm gonna remove it. The easiest way to do that is if you heat these little drips with the heat gun, just a little bit, then it should be easy to just peel off. So that is what we'll be doing. And it peels right off. Easy peasy. Now if I go down this one where I didn't heat it as much, it gets a little bit more difficult. So I may have to heat it more, but it seems to be really getting off the back today really easy. So that's cool. Yeah, I don't even need to go. Oh, there we go. See here, it rips the tape. You can try carefully to get back. Yeah, it worked. So, nothing much to it. I know that some people say that they actually sand it down on the back, but if you do it like this, there's no need, really. There we go. Only this one, and that should be easy to just, there we go. All clean and nice. And yeah, that's it. Let's turn it over and there you go. Oops. And voila. So here is the resin final result. I'm out on the balcony, the sun is shining, but there are some shadows from the trees in front, but yeah, at least you can see the shimmer, I think, and the light. Is Titus, he just came to watch. Yeah, let's try to move in. And there's my hand. Really beautiful. Okay, there you have it. Here's Titus again, he's sleeping. Enjoying the sun, but not really lying in the sun, I guess. Okay, so here is my rainbow swipe with resin. Of course, there's a lot of glare. You can see the window in here, but that's what you get with resin. But I love it. It's really, really beautiful.